if you're taking your dog for a walk in the park, up in the mountains, out at the beach, there are a couple of things you want to take with you to make sure it's a safe and effective walk for everybody involved. So this is what I have in my backpack for going for walks with my dog in the park. So I have learned that backpacks that are the single strap that go across your chest will be a bit of a problem for most people, because when you bend over to talk to your dog or pet your dog or do something, it will move around your body and likely hit your dog in the face or you in the face. It is not something I'm going to do again. So I only use the 2-strap backpacks, and I like a padded strap to make it a little more comfortable for me. And then I have a couple of things inside of the backpack to make sure my dogs are okay while we're out and about. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is not usually the first thing that I would tell you, but it is the thing that's in the way right now. So we're going to go with my tripod as a content creator. I like to document what we're doing. And so I document some of our walks. We have conversations where we educate you sometimes, but we also just want fun documentation. So I take a little tripod and a phone mount with me as well to make sure I have options for documenting just little bits and pieces of our walk as we go. Now, the next thing that I have is probably one of the most important. That is a bottle of water. I make sure I always have water for my dogs, and there's different versions of this you can take with you. You can have a collapsible bowl so that you can just have that nice and flat and store it inside of your backpack. When you're done, you can clip it under your backpack, which we'll get to in a minute. I also have water bottles that store water in them and then have a little bowl rounded top that you can press a button and add the water to, and then add the water back in and lock it so that it can't leak inside of your backpack. So having an option for your dog to drink is going to be incredibly important. I also take a water bottle for me because it's important that I am able to have water as well. And I don't want me to drink all of my dog's water, so I bring 2 water bottles with me. Now, another thing that I like to take with me is a water bottle holder. Typically, I'm going to leave the water bottle inside of the backpack, but if we get to a point where we just need water more frequently and I don't want to have to constantly stop, take the backpack off, fish it out of the backpack, this is really nice because this just straps on like a purse, or I can go over my shoulder, and it is just a little place to put that water bottle in here. You can actually tighten it up if you don't want it to bounce out. There's a little pocket there. I don't use this very often, but I like having it with me for when I need it. I also use this when I'm traveling. So if I've used this in Disney before when I am going around doing things in Disney, and that way I have my water bottle with me. I don't have to constantly fish it out or hold it in my purse or my whatever I'm carrying around with me to weigh me down on one side or the other. This is a little more effective and efficient. So I like a water bottle holder, but it's not necessary. It's one of those unnecessary necessities for me. I also make sure I have a spare leash inside of my backpack just in case anything happens. Just in case anything happens, I have a secondary leash so that I have that if I need it. If I need a dual leash on my dog, if I need to help somebody else out with their dog, if I need whatever it is, I have a backup. If it breaks, if they chew on something, if something happens, I have a backup for me or for whoever is going to need that. I also make sure I have some kind of water wipes inside of my bag. Water wipes are incredibly important for me so that I can clean up my puppies if they have allergies, because we're out in what I call a pollen corridor out in the park and they get all gunky. I can clean them up. If they have dirty paws, I can clean them up before putting them in the car. If we walk through something, if they get into something, I can clean it up. If for some reason they get sick in the car, I can clean that up as well. Water wipes are elite when it comes to dog parenthood. I've done tons and tons of video on those. I also make sure that I am carrying something like some sun protection for my dog. So I'll have little dog hats or little dog sunglasses, which they don't really wear the sunglasses in the park. But if we're in the car and we're traveling somewhere, sometimes I'll put the little sunglasses on just to make sure that the sun streaming in is not going to cause a problem for us. I have it in my pack somewhere, but I cannot find it. I think it's buried under my other water bowl. So they're in there. I also make sure, of course, we are carrying things like poop bags. I have extra rolls. I carry multiple rolls and I carry them in multiple places. They're in my backpack. They're in my belt bag. They are in my purse. They're in the car. I have multiple versions of those poop bags so that I can clean up after my dogs, so I can clean up after any water wipes that I have to use, so that if I am out and about with a dog stroller, so when my girls were puppies or when I had my senior dog before she passed and I was using a stroller for her to make sure she could do part of the walk but not all of the walk, and the wheels of the stroller got dirty, I put them over the wheels before I put them into the trunk of my car. So I make sure that I have things to clean up after ourselves. I make sure I have hand sanitizer. I make sure that I am carrying anything that I'm going to need for first aid. So things to make them vomit if they eat something that they shouldn't be eating. I make sure I have some bandages and things to take care of both them and me. So I also put band-aids for myself in there just in case anything happens. I have been known to get cut on things when I'm out and about. So I make sure that I've got any first aid things, gauze, band-aids, stuff to clean things with, hand sanitizer, things that I'm going to need to make it a successful walk for us. I don't carry a ton of stuff, but I always make sure that I've got the extra backup leash. I have water for them to drink. I have first aid type things. I have protection from the sun. So if it's really bright out and they need to wear their cute little hats, I've got the little visor hats for them so that it blocks out at least a little bit of the sun. And I make sure that I've got anything that is going to help with training. So snacks, treats. I've got our silicone training pouches, which I talk about all the time. And then I'm making sure I also have a toy for them. So if they get really, really distracted, so far my dogs have not, but if they get distracted and I need to put something in their mouth so they're not eating dirt or they pay attention a little bit better, I'll allow them to hold their rubber ball or their bumper toy or something like that, just to make it a little bit easier for me. So backup leashes, lots of poop bags, lots of things for first aid, lots of things for cleanliness as we are doing this, and water for both me and them and something for them to drink it out of as well. And then anything that's just going to make life easier. I always make sure that I have little clips on my bag. So this is a poop bag holder. If I am in one of the areas in the park where they don't have a bunch of trash cans, I can just attach this to my leash. I don't usually have it against my backpack, but I carry it on the backpack for easy use and easy access. I also have carabiner clips on my backpack so that I can hold things. If I need to clip on the water bowl so that it can dry. If I'm out at the beach and I don't want to hold my flip-flops or walk in my flip-flops, I can clip my flip-flops onto my backpack and not have to worry about it. So I have carabiner clips. I have the poop bag clips. I've got all the things to make life just a little bit easier as we are out and about. Now, there's lots of other things that you can be taking on different individualized trips. So we have tons of videos on beach dogs and how to thrive at the beach with the sand and the water and all those things and what you should be taking there. We've got things on the park and we've got things in other locations. So if you want to talk about what to bring on a hike in the mountains, or you want to talk about what to bring for other types of things, we also have videos on car travel. Go ahead and drop those down below for us and follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of dog parenthood to make this your best life with your dog as you're documenting your dog's life, traveling with your dog, enriching your dog's life, and helping them to live the best lives that they can. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.